breaking bounds, anything is possible. Tell your story to the people, tell the people to know that this story is a story everybody should know. Never limit dreams, never narrow goals. We're talking wins, yes, we're talking scores. Conceding none, we know no defeat. We never split, yeah, we never quit. Eagle-like vision, we never squint. Focus on the mission, we can never miss.
Baobab, we're breaking bounds. We're soaring high beyond the skies. Baobab, we're breaking bounds. We're soaring high beyond the skies. Beyond the skies. Beyond the skies.
Beyond the skies, you and I were breaking bounds, breaking bounds. Beyond the skies, you and I were breaking bounds on Baobab.
Hello everyone. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. I hope I'm audible enough for everyone. I would like to welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining this session. And this is the first session of our third phase of our remote workshop. I'm honored that you've made time to join us. Today we have an amazing session for you. And this session is not like the other ones. This is more of an interview. We are looking to learn from someone who has worked remotely, someone who has excelled as a remote worker, and she's here to share her experience with us. For those who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Mervin Muna. I'm from Kenya, and I am a specialist on remote work, and I will be your host tonight. So if you'll allow me to share my screen so that we can get this session started. I hope you can all see my screen, but before we begin today's session, I just want to share a bit about this phase. So this is phase 3 of our remote work workshops, and we'll have a total of 4 sessions during this phase. And we will use these sessions as to give one of you an opportunity to be mentored about how to succeed as a remote worker by myself. So this is how we will do it. We will have a quiz at the end of this session and the other sessions that are coming up. So we will gauge the performance of your performance across your quiz performance across these sessions, and the one who emerges as the one who does the best will get the opportunity to be mentored one-on-one by myself. And I also want to inform you that this session is available in both English and French. We have live French interpretation, and if French is your native language or it's the language that you are comfortable with, you can easily switch to French translation, and you will hear the live translation in French. To do this, on the bottom, if you're joining us through your laptop, on the bottom of your screen, there is a button written interpretation. It looks like a globe. Click on that and then move to French. Yeah, so if French is the language you are comfortable with, please move over to French live interpretation. But if English is the language you're comfortable with, you can stay in the main channel and we'll have the session you'll enjoy the session in English. So once again, let me reiterate that we'll have a quiz at the end of this session. The quiz will be based on the experiences and remote work journey of our guest speaker today. So you want to listen keenly, you want to pay attention so that at the end of when you're taking the quiz, you can take it confidently, you can pass and increase your chances of emerging the winner of our remote opportunities challenge. So once again, welcome to our session. Thank you so much. I've seen people are joining from all across Africa. I'm honored you made time to come here to join us, and we have an amazing session for you guys. So welcome to today's workshop. And As I've said, my name is Melvin Muna. I am a specialist in remote work. I'm also a consultant in this field. I have more than 7 years of experience. I have worked with companies all across the world, in the US, in the UK, in India, in Cambodia, in New Zealand, and I've done this from the comfort of my home here in Kenya. So I have so much to share with you about remote work. And I believe that through remote work, we can increase the opportunities that are available to young people who have the skills, the talent, and the drive to provide valuable services to companies all over the world. Africans are very hardworking. Africans are they put themselves out there. They are willing to work. And these are traits that can really benefit organizations across the world that are looking for dedicated workers. So I'm excited to do this workshop with you. And before we get into the interview, I'd like to, first of all, take this opportunity to recognize the winner of our Remote Opportunity Challenges Phase 1. Rolis is here with us. And one thing I can say about Rolis is he's one dedicated individual. I had 4 sessions with him on remote work, and I can say that he's very dedicated in his work. He's committed, he's driven, and he will definitely be an inspiration to the organization that he's working for. And Rolis won the Remote Opportunity Challenges Phase 1. I invited him to join us so that he can briefly share his experience about his experience that we had together with him about our mentorship, and so that he can inspire other people who are looking to take part in this challenge, so they can know what they can expect, what awaits them, and just to hear from Rolis about how we navigated our remote mentorship sessions. So Rolis, let me just stop sharing my screen at this moment. Rolis, if you can hear me, please, you can unmute and just briefly talk about the mentorship that you received from myself when you won the Remote Opportunities Challenges Phase 1.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, Melvin?
Yes, I can. How are you today?
Yes, I'm doing good. I hope.
Yeah, we can hear you. So just briefly, just talk about your experience, your mentorship experience when you won the Remote Opportunity Challenges Phase 1.
Yes, thank you for giving me the floor. During the last sessions of remote work, I had the opportunity to be the winner of remote work opportunity challenge.
So as Rolis is getting himself ready, let me just tell you something about Rolis. So Rolis is not a native English speaker. As you can see, he's speaking English to a good extent. Rolis speaks, his first language is French, and I was honored that he has learned how to speak in English. This has opened so much global opportunities for him because he can communicate with clients from different parts of the world who are comfortable communicating in English. So this is something I'd like to advise you if you're here. Try and see how you can increase your access to these opportunities by, let's say, you want to tap into the English talent pool. You want to make yourself accessible to employers within that space. So take time, try and learn this language so that when the opportunity arises, you will not be disqualified just because you cannot speak good English. So find opportunities to better yourself, find opportunities to increase your skills so that to make yourself an attractive candidate to employers out there. So Rolis learned English. He now speaks English fluently. He can communicate through English via email, via WhatsApp, and I can say that it shows drive, it shows commitment, and with such an attitude, you will succeed. So Rolis, if you're back, you can take the floor.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, sorry, I was having some issues with my computer, so I won't be able to turn on my video, but yeah, I can definitely share my experience. So as I was saying, I had the opportunity to be the winner of the last remote work series challenge, and it gave me a one-on-one mentorship session with Melvin, and it was really interesting. Like during this first session, we covered a lot of topics, and the goal of the whole session was to get hands on my actual career, I can say, and to see and to work about how I could work remotely where I'm working at this moment. So during the session, Melvin and I talked about how I work actually, and how working remotely would be more efficient. It will make me more efficient. And starting from there, we have talked about various way to be productive when working remotely. We talked about productivity. We talked about tools to use when working remotely to be present even when far from the office. We talked about some rules to set on a personal level to be efficient when working remotely. I remember especially the 90-20 rule, who tells that someone who is working should focus for 90 minutes and take a break of 20 minutes. So we covered a various lot of topics, and what I really appreciated during those mentorship sessions was that it was on a really personal level, so that Melvin, we really sat on my own case, and we really personalized the whole mentorship, so that the solutions he offered me, or we talked about, were really made for me, were best suited for my actual situation. And since I used to remember about his advice, and I used to read the notes I have taken when we were doing those mentorship sessions. And I think this second series will be as interesting as the first one was. And for the one who will be the winner of this series challenge, it will be a really great experience for that person.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rolis, for your kind words. So as Rolis has said, the mentorship session is personalized to you, to your needs. It's not generally about remote work. It's about how you can excel, how I can help you excel in your own specific situation, excel as a remote worker. So that is what we are proceeding with, the first two. So be on the lookout for the quiz at the end of the session, and do your best to increase your chances of being selected as the winner. Thank you so much, Rolis. Okay, so let's get back to business. So our session today is unlocking success beyond office walls. So we want to hear from a remote work trailblazer, someone who has succeeded, who has worked remotely, someone who has succeeded remotely, so that she can share her experience. How did she get started with this remote work? I've received so many questions from people already about they're looking to know how to get started. So we will hear from our guest speaker today, and she will share more about that, and hopefully you can learn as much as you can. So our guest speaker is Ruth Mwaura. Ruth Mwaura is from Kenya. and she's a freelance content creator and SEO specialist. Her expertise are in digital marketing, SEO strategy, that is search engine optimization, and content creation. She holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and 8 years of experience in the content creation field. Ruth has more experience in remote work than myself, so she has so much to say and share in this field. So her philosophy, she says she believes remote work enables creativity, flexibility, and the pursuit of a well-balanced lifestyle. That's impressive, Ruth. So, Ruth, welcome to this session. If you can hear me, please, you can unmute and we can start our interview. So let me share what we did with Rolis briefly. So with Rolis, we identified that Rolis currently works in an office, but is looking to have more opportunities to work remotely, looking to ask the manager to give him more opportunities to work from home. He realized that he could do some work at home without having to come into the office. And that's the whole essence of remote work. Remember, we had a session on how to convince your manager in the previous workshops, how to convince your manager to let you work remotely. So Rolis wanted to convince his manager so that he can have more opportunities to work from home, especially on tasks that he didn't have to be in the office to complete. So we worked with Rolis, we drafted a letter, and we sent that letter, Rolis sent it to his manager. And also we worked with Rolis so that he can know exactly, because this letter is just an introduction. This letter is just an introduction. After that, he had to meet with his manager in the office face to face so that they can discuss how to deal with how we can work from home, meet his assignments, and still be able to meet his targets. So that is how this mentorship session is tailored to exactly your case. It's not general mentorship, and that is what we will do still with the second phase. So I can see Ruth is saying the issue is sorted. So
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing so well. So how are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. Sorry for that inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I'm back now.
So thank you so much for agreeing to join us on this webinar. It will be nice for us to hear from someone who has done remote work extensively and excelled in this field. So please, can you share more about yourself, what you
Yeah.
do, and how you got into this field?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Ruth Mwaura, as you have heard. Um, I'm a remote worker. I've been doing it for the past 8 years. Yes, and I love it. In those 8 years, I have done a lot of things, but my expertise, my specialities are in SEO strategy, digital marketing, and content creation. Not general content creation generally. Yes. Yes. As far as remote work goes, that is what I do.
So how long have you been doing it?
I have been doing it for 8 years. And for me, it actually started way back in campus.
Okay.
Yes, it started back in campus, and when it was starting, I started in the funniest way
Mm-hmm.
because I did not start with a career outlook in mind. I was just looking for a way to pass time, keep busy, and and supplement the pocket money I had.
Okay, so how has the journey been? Has it been fulfilling? And what advice would you give to someone who's looking to get started with remote work right now, based on your experience?
Right now things are a little different from when I started. When I was starting back in 2015, 2014, um, um, academic writing and article writing was quite prominent among university students, and during that time, people used to purchase accounts, and from those accounts is where you'd get you'd get clients to contact you to work for them. Yes.
Yeah.
So when I was starting, getting acquiring those accounts was quite expensive. So for me, I did not acquire an account for myself. I just
Mm-hmm.
looked for someone who already had an account, and then we started working together. And
Okay,
that
so
person was in Kenya.
okay,
Yeah, but now things are a bit different. People can easily go to LinkedIn and other job board sites, and yes, you can find your remote opportunities there.
okay, so you started by working for someone,
Yes,
and
yes,
you eventually went to work for your own on your own.
yes, I did.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so your motivations for choosing remote work, and you've mentioned that you wanted to supplement your income, you wanted to to earn a little bit of some money on the side.
Uh-huh.
Was that the only motivation?
No, actually, after I can say what I did in campus was like a trial run for me.
Okay.
As I
Mm-hmm.
said, I did not start remote work with a career in mind. For me, it was about getting for me it was about keeping busy and making a few coins on the side. Yeah, but now when I finished school, I now had to weigh my options between pursuing remote work with like as a career, or focusing on the degree I had. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
one thing, okay, I have also practiced psychology. I actually love psychology, but the thing that made me pursue content creation was I
Mm-hmm.
love how diverse it is. Yes, I love how
Okay.
diverse it is, because throughout the 8 years I've worked with different companies, and with
Mm-hmm.
each company I have had to do something different. There was no time my job description was the same.
Okay.
Yes, we with each company, with each agency, my job has changed in a way. Now that diversity is what made me edge more on the remote work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, remote work side. Can you
Oh,
excuse me for 1 minute?
okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Ruth needs to attend to something. So let me just recap what she's just said, that she started the remote work career 8 years ago, and though she studied psychology in the university, she still chose to pursue remote work because she felt this is where she's earning more money, where she's more fulfilled, which is something that you can choose to do, because at the end of the day, we're here to make money. So her story also connects with my own, because I did engineering in campus, but I pivoted and became a remote worker, and I left engineering altogether. So at the end of the day, you need to find where your heart is. You need to find what appeals to you. Considering the current economic situations, you need to be in a position where you can grow easily, earn, where you can earn enough money to sustain yourself and to pay your bills. So, Ruth, can you continue?
Yes, I can continue. Yes, but I'll have to go on without my video.
Okay,
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
So, thank you for sharing that, Ruth. So, we want to get into the serious stuff. So, we know we've heard of your motivations for choosing remote work.
Yes.
And so, let's talk about transitioning to remote work. You did
Mm.
psychology in university,
Yeah, that's right.
and you left all this to concentrate on your remote career. How was
Yes.
that transition? Did you feel like you are losing the 4 years invested in campus and society? Did your people feel like they wasted money taking you to campus?
Actually, that was. I can still say that is still a pressure point to date.
Mm-hmm.
8 years down the line, yeah, because when you go to school, parents expect you to finish your course, graduate, and then go to a physical job. They want to say she works in such and such a place, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter works in such and such a place. People came to your graduation, they are asking, so where do you work now? Yeah. And
Yeah,
since in Kenya we have not yet, okay, in Kenya, and I'm thinking in Africa, we have not yet embraced the remote working.
culture.
Yeah, the culture. So
Mm-hmm.
so when so you when you meet people and they ask you, where are you working now?
Mm-hmm.
And you tell people I work online, and they don't grasp. What do you mean you work online?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same job you're doing. Like, what do you mean you work online? And then it's not easy to explain to people. It's somewhat a foreign
Concept.
concept. Yeah. So they don't understand what you mean that you work online, creating content online. So they are asking, who are you working for online, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was not easy to this point. People still some people still don't get what you mean when you say you're working online. And obviously parents will feel that this is not what we were expecting. We were expecting a physical job, an 8 to 5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the transition was not easy, but for me I would say it's like it was not really a win or lose situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for me it was a win-win, because yes, I love psychology, but I'm also a creative.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a creative, so I also love content creation.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was not really a loss. I was not losing anything, because I was just doing something else that was
You're passionate
having
about.
my. Yes. Also, since I also had a chance to try out remote work when I was in university.
Mm-hmm.
When I now started practicing psychology, I had something to weigh my options against.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. You didn't
yes,
have just one thing to focus on
yes,
and
I
pick.
had something. I had something to weigh my options with. I
Mm-hmm.
had I could weigh my options, like what is, because at the end of the day, in as much as you're passionate about psychology, you're passionate about content creation, you want something that is giving you return, something that is bringing something back. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, the job market in Kenya, unemployment is high. So when you compare those two things, like, I already have a portfolio for content creation, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to put myself out there. So it was more of, I guess this one will work more.
Will work better.
Yes, yes, will work better. That's the word. Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I still love psychology.
Mm-hmm.
I still practice it in my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I'm both of them. I'm a psychologist and I'm a remote worker.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So let's talk about the challenges that you faced or are still facing as a remote worker. What challenges have you experienced so far?
as much as remote work is good, as much as it's exciting, it also comes with a fair share of challenges, as does
Mm-hmm.
everything else. Yes,
Yeah.
even the traditional
Office work.
in office job has
Mm-hmm.
its own challenges. Yes, so with remote work, the first challenge I believe is the time difference.
Okay.
Since
Okay.
since Kenya, since Africa, we,
Yeah.
we don't have that remote work culture. It means that most of the opportunities that you're going to get, not that there are no opportunities out in Africa, but
Mm-hmm.
most of those that you're going to get are outside Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that you will likely not be in the same time zone with the people you are working with.
Okay.
Yeah, and to some extent that can be a challenge, especially when you're
Mm-hmm.
starting out, because you might not know how to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The other challenge with remote work
Mm-hmm.
is language barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the same reason, since you might not get, even in Africa, we still have the language barriers, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so language barrier is another thing. Yes, we might think that many people, everybody like speaks English, but it's not like the national language for most people. Most people don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is another issue. That is another challenge that you will, even 8 years down the line, I still come across that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the other one, and probably the biggest one, is burnout.
Burnout.
Yes.
Can you explain that a bit so that we can understand what you're saying?
Burnout, basically, people assume that just because you work from home, you can
Mm-hmm.
sleep, you can just jump in bed at any time you want,
Mm-hmm.
or you can wake up at any time you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while this might be true for when you are working remotely as a freelancer,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's always a risk of burning out, because you don't have something that restricts you, especially as a freelancer. You don't have something that restricts you to an 8-hour shift, an 8-hour day. It's very easy to overwork.
Okay.
It is also very easy to um you see, when you're working from home, it's also very easy to procrastinate. Like, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll just do it
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. So when you procrastinate, you find yourself pressured at the very last minute. So you find yourself burning out. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Burnout is another challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Those I could say that those are the three main challenges that that come with remote work.
And briefly, can you just explain how you went about solving or working around these challenges to guarantee your success in remote work?
Okay, for the time difference, it's actually quite easy. it's
Mm-hmm.
it's quite easy to navigate that. um thank that Thanks to technology, we now have world clocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now with the world clock, you can like know the time in the other country in real time. Yes, you can
Okay.
just have it next to your local time on your phone screen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have, so I can say that throughout my remote work journey, like,
Okay.
the world clock has been my close, what do I call it, my
Present.
close, yes, my close friend. Yes, it keeps also, it lets you know, it helps you, like adjust your schedule. let's
Mm-hmm.
say let's say you are a freelancer. When I
Okay.
started, I started as a freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as a freelancer, you know that during my 8 p.m. is when my other coworkers are in the office. Yes,
Yeah.
because it's morning for them.
Okay.
Most of these most of the remote organizations that I've worked with are hybrid. That
Mm.
means there are people in office and there are people outside, like there are people working remotely, yes.
Okay.
So so when you gauge, when you know that during my 8 p.m. is when my co-workers are in office, you can
Mm.
try to adjust your working time
Yeah.
to be in line with that, because for the sake of like answering emails, replying to
Mm-hmm.
emails, and probably communication, some assignments, some of the work you will have to do needs, like, how do I call it, needs like probably back and forth communication for you to be able to 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 provide, to submit the best work possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so if you figure out that during my 8 p.m. is when they are in office, you can try
Mm.
and restructure your working to be
Mm-hmm.
around that time, so that if there's need to reply to emails, if there's need to ask questions, if there's need to answer questions, you try to streamline the daily runnings of the company, of the office. But if that is not possible,
Yeah.
it's good to, if it's totally not possible to reschedule your time to match your co-workers time, it's good to like have a fixed time, even if you're a freelancer, not
Mm-hmm.
a full-time employee. Even if you're a freelancer, it's good to have like a set time when you work.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way your workmates can know that if at all I log in to work at this time, if at all I sign into work at this time,
Mm-hmm.
I will find Ruth there.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes, yes, just because it's remote, it doesn't mean that you should be haphazard or just showing up when you want and showing up and not being there when you're needed,
Mm-hmm.
or not communicating promptly. Remember, you have to, even if it's a remote setting, you have to hold yourself with utmost professionality. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have a very strong work ethic. Yes,
Okay.
remember, you need to show these people that I'm a valuable addition to I'm a valuable addition to your company. I bring value to your company. So take it as if it was an in-office job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when you're supposed to be there, be there. Yes, and that is what the world clock has done for me.
Mm-hmm.
It has helped me be there. It has helped me have a very strong work ethic. It has helped me be reliable,
Okay.
which which is very important in remote work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the other thing, language barrier. Well, there's really not much you can do about it
Yeah.
unless you learn the other language. But with time, I find that you come to understand each other with time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with time you come to understand what the other person is trying to say. Yes, and also to keep things lighthearted, you can learn a word or two
Mm-hmm.
in the other person's language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that things don't seem so tense because you can't understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but with time, trust you me, with time you get to know what this person is trying to say.
Okay.
Yes. And as for burnout,
Mm-hmm.
as I have said, you should take remote work with the same seriousness you take
Mm-hmm.
an in office opportunity. Yes.
Yeah.
So in that breath, it's
Mm-hmm.
important to take leave days or
Okay.
off days
Mm.
whenever you feel that you need to. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because you are still working, you still get tired. Yes, you still
Yeah.
get tired, you still need to unwind, you still need to relax, to refresh. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
avoiding burnout, a large part of avoiding burnout is taking your leave. Take them seriously. Don't assume because you work at home you don't need an off day.
Okay.
Yes. Also avoiding burnout. Another thing with avoiding burnout is making sure is like sticking to your work schedule. If you are working Monday to Friday, make sure you work Monday to Friday. Like make sure you distribute your work evenly Monday to Friday, so
Okay.
that no work spills over to
The weekend.
the weekend. Yes, and that might be easier said than done for a person working part-time or as a freelancer.
Yeah.
Yes, because as a freelancer it's not easy, I understand, but to avoid burnout you just have to. You just have an easy way to do that. You can set aside 8 hours every day. Like assume it's an in-office situation, set aside 8 hours a day, do whatever you're supposed to do in those 8 hours, and then leave work like in an in-office situation, right? But if you don't do that, if you probably, do I say you don't take it serious? No, not really. But if you're not able to schedule your time in that manner, you find work spilling over into the weekend. So it hits you that it's Monday and you've not even rested. It's Monday, you're supposed to go back to work, you've not even rested, you've not even slept, you've not relaxed. So you see, burnout is very easy to come. But for it's a bit easier for full timers, because as a full timer you're just supposed to log in, like check into work from a certain time to a certain time, like work your 8 hours, check out. Yes, I understand it might not be easy for freelancers, but it's something you should strive to do. You should strive to make sure that basically just make the most of each day. Do as much as you can in each day, in every day, to make sure that you rest when you're supposed to rest and you work when you're supposed to work.
Oh
Yes.
wow, that is some powerful words of wisdom. So make the most of each day. That's my take home from that brief brief explanation of how to deal with burnout. So let's move on to our next question. So we've talked about the challenges and how you overcame them. So let's talk about the key strategies for success. And one of this is time management. So can you briefly share tips for time management?
Thank you. In my personal opinion, remote work comes down to time management. If you don't manage your time well when working remotely, it's well, it might pay you, yes, but it will still be harming you. It might do you good, but it will still be harming you to some extent. Yes, because when you don't have, especially like I said, as a freelancer, when you don't have something that a schedule or a directive that tells you should work from this time to this time, and then from this time leave work until tomorrow, it's very easy to misappropriate that time. It's very easy to mismanage that time. But when but when you're disciplined, it's remote work comes with a lot of discipline, by the way. It comes with training yourself to be very disciplined, because if you're not disciplined, you're not going, you will wait. Okay, I understand that some people work well under pressure, so some people will wait until the very last minute to do something. But if you're not disciplined, when that procrastination accumulates, it's definitely going to do you more harm than good. So with time management, like I've just said, make the most of every day. And when you make the most of every day, make the most out of every day. When you make the most out of every day, you are able to rest, because rest is very important. Your mental health, your physical health, they are also important, and they all directly affect the output, your output. So if you don't manage your time well, you are going to you're not going to have the best output, because you're going to be fatigued. Yeah. And in making the most out of every day, I don't mean that you should work non-stop. Yes, I just mean that, just assume in your head you are in an office situation. You go to work at 8, and then probably at 11 to 11:30 you take a break, and then from 11:30 to 1 you work, and then you take another lunch break, and then from there you work till evening, right? So yeah, by making the most out of every day, I don't mean that you should work non-stop and kill yourself with work. No, I just mean you should be informed. You should be what's the word? You should distribute your work well throughout the time. Avoid procrastination. And procrastination comes from a lot of things. There are times when you have to procrastinate because, yes, life happens. You have to run an errand, you have to attend to emergencies, you have to take care of other things, so you have no option but procrastinate. But there's also other things that cause 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 us to procrastinate. So so like giving yourself the best chance every morning, every day, is the best way to make sure you don't procrastinate. It's the best way to make sure you utilize your time well. That means getting up at the right time, waking up at the right time, preparing, or like taking a shower. Don't assume because you're working from home you can just take your laptop and work from your bed in your pajamas, like you've not even washed your face. Yeah, like wake up, you give yourself the best chance. Wake up, prepare well, take breakfast, go sit at your desk. You should have a designated place to work. Go sit, go sit, go sit on your desk and then work. Yes. Also make sure that you are working in a well lit room, not with your curtains closed, not with your curtains not drawn. The room is stuffy, there should be fresh air. Yeah, all these things. Make sure you are well organized. You can have a to-do list. Yes, we also procrastinate when we feel that tasks are difficult, yeah, or too big. So the best way to avoid that is break down this task into small achievable goals. Yes, break it down, and also like have small milestones. Like, I can do research for 30 minutes. From after doing my research, I can take the other step. Break those daunting tasks into small achievable milestones, and then you'll find yourself not procrastinating. Yes, it will motivate you to to manage that time well, to do the most you can. Yes.
Oh, that is so nice, Ruth. Actually, I feel like you're talking to me. I'm a big procrastinator, especially when the task is difficult or complex, but I think breaking it down into small, manageable chunks will really help me stop wasting time.
Yeah,
So,
you'll do.
yeah, so let's move on to the next strategy for success. So we've talked about time management. The next one is communication skills. So how do you ensure you are communicating effectively with your manager, with your boss, with your colleagues, and which tools do you use to stay connected with other team members?
Yeah, communication is also another very important thing when it comes to remote work. Remember, you are not physically there. So communication is like your communication skills is like you being there now, is like you being in an office setting. So you should have, your communication skills should be very on point. There's, in psychology, we call it intrapersonal skills. Yes, like how you communicate with other people. First of all, because it's in a remote setting, your communication has to be very, you have to take communication very seriously. Yes, if at any point you find that you are not able to deliver a task because of something, just write a message using whatever channel. Most companies, you'll find most companies have like their preferred channels of communication. Some will use ClickUp, others will use Slack, others will use chats. Yes, so depending on what the company uses, you should be very keen to communicate. If you find that you're not able to deliver a task at a given time, just communicate. Not because the other person will micromanage you, but just to let them know that, yes, I know that I should be delivering this task, but for some reason, you don't have to give the reason, for some reason I cannot. You see. Yeah, also communication is very important in a remote setting, because if you don't reply to that email on time, you might be derailing things. Yes, you might be derailing a lot of things. So you just have to learn. You just have to learn and open yourself to communication. There are people who don't feel like they should communicate every step of the way, and I personally don't think that that is right. You should in a remote setting, you should be able to inform the other person that I'm still working on this. Yes, I know I'm late for the deadline. I know the deadline was set to today, but I will not be able to deliver today. Yes, and don't find that as micromanagement. You're just being a reliable person. Yes, don't wait until people have to follow you, like, why didn't you deliver? You see, because in as much as you might feel like you're being micromanaged, the other person, there's someone on the other person's neck asking them, why is this still not where it's supposed to be in the chain, in the production chain? You see. So, but if you communicate, you the other person is also not caught off guard. You get. Yes. Also, communication is very important, because you have to be very mindful of how you communicate in a remote setting. It's very easy for tones and intentions to be mistaken in a remote setting. So you have to be very clear. You have to be very clear. And also, another thing that is not easy for people to do in remote settings is taking, when you have proper communication skills, you are able you are able to have like a positive approach to feedback, to being given feedback, to being given corrections. You know, as long as you're working in a group setting, you are going to be corrected. You're going to be told, no, this is not the way to do it, do it this way. So when you have the proper, I feel like having the proper communication skills gives you the right attitude needed for remote work, because it's very easy to feel like these people, like, I've just had it with these people, they keep correcting me, they keep, you see, it's very easy to feel like you've had it. It's very easy to feel like you are being micromanaged in a remote setting. So it's but when your communication skills are on point, I feel like it gives you a positive attitude towards life as a remote worker. Yeah, but that being said, you should also, I believe it's also important to set boundaries in remote situations, because yes, things can easily get out of hand. Yes, it's easy to set boundaries. Like set boundaries in a respectful and in a professional way with people. If you feel like you don't like how someone communicates to you, like communicate in a professional and mature way. Yes, but don't forget to set boundaries. Just because it's a remote situation doesn't mean that you should, like, let's say, submit even your personal number, your personal, say, WhatsApp number, so that people can reach you. You see, yeah, set boundaries, but in a respectful way. Yeah. That's my take on communication skills.
Wow, that's intense, but very useful and helpful information on how to build your communication skills when working remotely. So there's also another thing that I want you to touch on that
Mm-hmm.
I believe is a key strategy for success, like personal development. Obviously, you are not where you were when you started remote work. There's some skills that you took some time to learn so that to make yourself valuable to the organizations you're working for. So can you share about personal development and how someone should approach it?
um like with every other career path, personal and professional development is very important. Yes. In my case, I started as a freelancer, like just creating articles. I didn't know much. The only thing I knew was that I'm a creative, so I was good at writing. Yes. I didn't know about search engine optimization. I didn't know anything like that. And the person I worked with was lenient, and he allowed me to grow even without having much knowledge about such things. Yes. But if I remained in the same position, I will not have gotten past where I was in campus. I would never have gotten opportunities past that, because you see, the world is always changing, the world is always evolving. Yes. So if you have, and what that means is that you should constantly seek to make yourself better. You should constantly seek to elevate your skills. You should constantly seek to go to the next level. And the easiest way to do that is to keep up with what is happening in your field. Yes. Um, when it comes to article writing, there's really no article writing without search engine optimization. Yes. So it's something you have to be curious about. You have to aspire to be good at, because you also have to understand that um the same way you don't want to buy something that was in fashion, like, let's say, in 2021. Yes. You see, when we were kids, the things used to come, we used to have certain clothes in fashion at a certain time, and then they come, the hype dies down, and then some other outfit comes. Yeah, nobody wants to buy something that was from before. We want what is current. Yes. So in the same way, digital marketing agencies are looking for, or whatever field you're in, the companies, the agencies are looking for people who are current. Yes. They are looking for people who understand the trends, because if you don't understand the trends, then if you don't understand what is happening in your field, if you don't understand where your field is heading to, what value will you be bringing in? Remember, employment is all about value. What value are you bringing in? Yes. Okay, I understand you need a job. I understand you are looking, you want to feed your family. Yes. But what value are you bringing into my agency? What value are you bringing into my company? Because at the end of the day, I'm paying you, and if I'm paying you, I have to pay you for something. So what value are you bringing into the agents? What value are you bringing into the team? So to bring value, to position yourself as a person of value, you have to consistently be curious about your field. What is happening? How can I make myself better? And to keep knowing, to stay in a roof, connect, follow people in your industry, follow people who are more knowledgeable than you, because following the connecting with those people, saying on LinkedIn or whatever, those are the people who are going to show you, that is where you're going to get the knowledge of what should I be making myself better at, what how should I be growing myself. You will be, well, I believe that you also learn on the job, but past learning on the job, you also have to do something. You also have to do some personal development. You also have to do some professional development by yourself. Yes, I personally, yeah, you have to say, I guess I can sum personal or professional development. I can sum it up as being relevant. You have to be relevant. You have to be relevant to the times, and also have value, communicate value to whoever you want to work for or with, because at the end of the day, people pay for value. People don't pay for your needs or your dreams. Unfortunately, people pay for value. What are you bringing to me? Yes.
Oh, wow, those are some powerful words. So stay relevant and communicate value. Thank you so much, Ruth, for that. So let's proceed quickly. I can see time is not on our side. So the next thing I'd like to ask you is, we've done personal development and work-life balance. This is very important because when working remotely, it's easy to allow work to take over your life. So how do you maintain that work-life balance to ensure that you're still delivering as a remote worker, but your family and personal life is not suffering?
um in my opinion, work life balance comes down to time management. If you don't manage your time well, that means you will be working at times when you're supposed to be with your family. If you don't manage, you'll be working at times when you're supposed to be with your kids. And what that means is that you'll be missing out on life, basically, because, yes, you understand. So you'll be missing out on life. So if you don't manage your time well, you are going to disrupt that balance between life and work. Yes. So once again, make the most out of each day so that you work when you're supposed to work, and rest or live life when you're supposed to rest and live life. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruth. I think I need to be taking your advice more seriously because I'm always working, sometimes not having time for myself or family, but I think it's time I made sure that I'm making time for everything that matters. So thank you so much for that, Ruth. Let me see if there's something else here for you. Yeah, so Ruth, that was it. That was our interview. And I'd like to say you've really shared a lot of useful information that can really benefit anyone who's looking to get started with remote work, and even those who are looking to, who are already in this field and are looking to enhance and grow as remote workers. Very valuable information here, especially on how to manage time and how to embrace and be relevant and communicating value to the team that you're working with. So now it's time for Q&A. So let me see if there are some questions in the chat that I can direct to you. And so someone was asking if you are in, so that's psychology. So Margaret is asking, how can I go about digital marketing and content creation? What are the key requirements I should have to qualify for a remote job in digital marketing? Maybe you can share insights about that, Ruth.
Okay. Digital marketing is basically using content creation to market, right? It's leveraging content creation to market. So in as much as it comes down to the job description, or it comes down to the standard operating procedures of any given company, you have, like I have said, you have to understand the trends. You have to understand what is happening in your field. Yes, you cannot want to do digital to pursue digital marketing and you don't understand SEO. Yes, you cannot want to focus to pursue digital marketing and you don't understand analytics, you don't understand those things. Yes, so it's about choosing a path that you want to follow and then equipping yourself with everything that adds up to that path, so that when you are called in for an interview, you are able to present value. Like I said, you are able to present value to show that yes, I understand what is happening in the market right now. I understand what is happening in the industry like right now, and I know how to use whatever knowledge and experience I have to be a digital marketer. And when you're digital marketing for a company, basically they want to see returns. Yes, they want to see increased sales, return on their investment. So you have to show them that you understand what you understand me. You have to package yourself in a way that it's the same way like being a doctor. If you want to being a doctor is not enough. General medicine is not enough if you want to be a dermatologist. Yes, you have to equip yourself with knowledge about dermatology to be able to specialize in dermatology, to be a dermatologist, right? Yes, so you have to, like I said, stay relevant and grow yourself, so that when the opportunity comes, you present yourself as someone who understands and someone that will actually bring results. Yes, that is what I can say.
Thank you so much for those insights, Ruth. And I hope that answers your question. So, Ruth, I think at this moment I can release you,
Yes.
and I can say that you've really been such a valuable asset for this webinar. You've shared so much useful information, and I'm thankful you made time to be with us today. And I just wish you all the best in your freelance career. And I hope to stay in touch so that I can gain all this wisdom that you have. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I switched on. People might be wondering why I switched off my video. My
Yeah.
baby joined me for the webinar. Yes, and so I had to to switch off my video. Yes, so my
It's
baby
okay.
is also helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to learn. It's always a pleasure to help with whatever knowledge I have. It's always a pleasure to share. Yes, sharing is caring. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, and we can see the little baby.
Yeah, she joined me. She decided to join me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruth, for your time, and hopefully have a nice time, and let's stay connected.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, so that was our interview. I believed you've learned so much about remote work from that talk with Ruth. And let's continue. I'd like to mention that we will have a brief survey after this whole session, so that we can really gauge how you value some of this, the information that we're sharing. So at the end of this session, please, just 5 minutes, take some 5 minutes and participate in the survey. It will really help us improve the content that we have. It will help us improve our session so that we can serve you better. So at the end of this, webinar, we'll have a survey. The link will be shared in the chat, so be on the lookout, and you can share your opinion about some of the content and information we're sharing here. So there's so many questions on the chat. Let me see if I can just pick a few of them so that we can go to our quiz. It's a simple quiz, and it's based on the information that our guest speakers said. So if you are attentive, you will get everything. If you are not attentive, you'll miss some things, because the quiz is specifically about the information here. Yeah. So let's check one question. Margaret, I hope Ruth has answered your question. Okay, so Kim is asking how one can get started as a get started with freelancing as a beginner. One, first of all, I can to someone to hold you. So if you know someone who's doing this, work under them, let them assign you some tasks, let them correct you, let them guide you. And after that, you get the confidence to go out on your own. As our guest speaker said, she started out as working for someone, she get the experience, and she used that experience to apply as a remote worker on her own. So Kimeli, oh no, so Oluwatobi, that's your question. So find someone who's doing remote work under them, and gain the experience to go out on your own. And Isa is saying, how do you end up getting bids as a freelancer? Some of us like me have been bidding for years. So with getting jobs as a getting your bids to be qualified so that you can earn a job as a freelancer comes down to the quality of your cover letter. I'm calling it a cover letter because this is your pitch. It's like a cover letter. So someone has probably posted a job and they're looking for someone to do a particular task. You'll get this with a strong and tailored cover letter that one helps the employer see the kind of value that they will get from you. So we'll have a session on this. Our last session in session 4 will be on how to succeed on freelancing platforms. And I will be covering on how to make successful bids. I've been doing this for years, and I can say that one of the mistakes that people do is they have a generic pitch. Hey, I'm so-and-so, I'd like to do this job for you. That generic pitch will not get you anywhere. You need a pitch you need to tailor your pitch to the application. You need to show the value that you can give to the clients. And one of the things that I'll cover in that session is when making a pitch, give the employer an opportunity to test your skills. So you can say, in as much as I have this and these skills, I'm open to doing a trial job so that you can gauge if I have enough skills, the right skills that you're looking for. Open yourself to doing a trial, and from there, let the employer decide if you qualify to work for them or not. So Rebecca is asking, how supportive is the family when it comes to remote work? I think this is something that Ruth needed to answer. I will forward this question to her. How supportive can the family be? Is the family when it comes to remote work? And I will post when she gives me the answer, I will post it on Baobab. Michael is asking a very good question. What advice can she give to well-paying remote jobs, but saturated by skilled talent, and more so to bypass regional biasness in terms of skills? So this is a remote opportunity. Let's say an area saturated with skilled talent can be like in software engineering and development. So advised to succeed. Basically, with some of these, in an area where it's saturated with skills, you need to show that you also possess the right skills. So in this case, your portfolio will help you get the job that you're looking for. In an area that's saturated with talent, you need to show what you can do. In this, as you said, this area is saturated with talent. So they're not just going to give this job to anyone. So you need to show the potential employer that you can do a good job. And you get to do this through the work that you've already done. So your portfolio. Bypass regional biasness in terms of skill. I don't really think, if you're good, I don't think regional biasness will apply to you, because I know so many people here in Kenya who are working as software developers for the big tech companies, the likes of Microsoft and Google. They are able to get those jobs because of their skills. In some of these industries, regional biasness really doesn't apply that much. But if you are good and you will get that job. Yeah, so because of time, I think we should jump straight into our quiz. And as I've said, the quiz is based on the experience of our guest speaker. So if you've been keen and listening, you will probably get everything. So let me launch the quiz so that we can do it. I'd also like to say that this quiz, we have a quiz. The quiz is in English and it's also in French. So you only take the quiz in one language. So if you are an English speaker, take the English quiz. If you're a French speaker, wait until the English quiz is over so that you can take the French quiz. So we'll only have 6 questions for our quiz. So I'm now launching the quiz. It should appear on your screen. And since it's not a difficult quiz, I'm only giving you 5 minutes to do the quiz. And after that, the quiz will be over, and only those who have taken the quiz will be considered for the remote opportunities challenge. So I hope you've all seen the quiz. I hope it has appeared on your laptop, on your screen, so you can get to it. You only have 4 more minutes left, so please get to it. It has not yet appeared on your end. Matthew is saying the quiz has not appeared. Who else has not yet seen the quiz? Okay, Yegon Brian has not seen the quiz. Grasha, can you check if you can see the quiz from your end and maybe launch it again from your end?
Sure. People need to go to more and then look for poll in there. So it's already launched, but then they can just go to more and look for polls.
Yeah. So from the bottom of your screen, if you're on full screen, go to polls and quizzes, and you will be able to see the section of quiz and take the quiz from there. If you are not on full screen, so click on more, and from there, click on polls/quizzes, and you'll see it there and do the quiz. Yeah, so 6 people are already, people I can see they're doing the quiz. I hope you've all accessed the quiz. If you've not, please mention it on chat so that we can guide you. Yeah, so our 5 minutes are up. I hope those who have wanted to take the quiz have done that. So the French quiz has been launched. So if you need to take this quiz in French, please, same procedure, go to polls and you'll see the quiz if it has not yet popped up on your screen. Or if you are not on full screen, click on more, go to polls/quizzes and check the quiz. The quiz will be available for the next 5 minutes. So if you need to take it, you need to do so right now. Henry, the recording will be shared via email. You'll get an email with a link to the recording. So be on the lookout for that. I can see one person is taking the French quiz. We are 1 minute, 1.5 minutes down, 3 minutes, about 3 minutes to go. So if you need to take the quiz in French, please do so right now. Yeah, so after once we are at the end of this session, so just like 5 minutes to complete the quiz. The link to the quiz has been shared in the chat. Everyone can access, can see that message in the chat. So at the end of the session, that is the link. Please use that to give your opinions about this session, about the content that we have. And we will use that information to provide a better experience for you guys. So I can see only one person has taken the French quiz. So 1 more minute, 2 minutes to go if you need to take that quiz in French. Yeah, Vika Jafar is saying he missed the beginning part of the webinar, and that has made it difficult for him to answer the quiz correctly. Yeah, because this quiz was based on the experience of the speaker. So if you missed a portion of it, you will struggle to get the right answers. But don't worry, Vika, the link will be shared and you'll be able to catch up on the information that was shared. I'll also be discussing the answers shortly so that you can have an idea of what the speaker said. So I think you can end the French quiz. I think no one else is taking it. It's ending in 10 seconds. Yeah, so let's go over the quiz briefly. The first question was, when did the speaker's remote journey begin? It started 8 years ago. So the correct answer was C, and 74% got that correct. So question 2, how did the guest speaker initially find remote work opportunities? A couple of choices there, and the correct answer is D, by working for a freelancer who had an account for remote jobs. So 70% of you who took the English quiz got that correct. And the third question was, what motivated the guest speaker to pursue a career in remote work after their undergraduate studies? This was a tough one. And I like it that. So we had two answers that almost look like were right. So that is B and D. So a trial run of remote work in school and the diversity of remote work as opposed to traditional in-office systems. So what motivated the guest is, yes, the guest had a trial run of remote work while still in school, but it's upon discovering that the remote work provides me so much more than actually working in an office. Remember, he also did some psychology, some internship as a psychologist, and he realized that the diversity that remote work offers appealed to her. So that's why she decided to pursue her career in remote work. Only 10 people got this correct, and 43%, the majority of you said B, which is not actually the right answer. So the correct answer is D. And so the fourth question is, what are some of the challenges the guest speaker mentioned in their remote work journey? The answer is actually all of them. He talked about language barrier, talked about time zone differences, and burnout. So all these are the challenges she faced, and the correct answer, therefore, is D, all the above. 74% of you got that correct. How did the guest speaker overcome the challenge of being in different time zones? She mentioned that this is one of the challenges she faced, and she overcame this by using world clocks to track time differences. 70% of you got that right. So what is the guest speaker's trick for avoiding burnout in remote work? The correct answer is B, taking off days and leave to recharge. She mentioned that you need to treat your remote work as your remote job and you treat it the same way you treat an in-office job, and take breaks and leaves so that you can recharge. So there are also some questions that were provided earlier, so I'd like to quickly answer them. I'm answering questions that James Josh sent. So James is working in the oil and gas field and is looking to transition to, is flexible and is looking to transition to the finance and consulting services industry. So James asked what platforms, the best platforms for entry-level jobs. So James, the best platforms in this case are, one is LinkedIn. If you're looking to transition into another field, you need to create a profile on LinkedIn, connect with people in that field who are in that industry. And it's by connecting with these people that you will find and be able to access remote opportunities that may be shared within that field. So the first platform you need to join is LinkedIn. Another platform to get remote jobs is Flex Jobs. So check Flex Jobs and look for remote jobs in the finance industries, in the finance industry. You can also check We Work Remotely and Indeed. Indeed is also a nice platform for accessing remote jobs. So James also asked what advice I will share for someone who had never had a remote job. So James has my advice. One, establish a schedule. This is something that our guest speaker even mentioned. So you need to have a schedule, and so you need to set out time for when you'll be working and time for when you'll be resting. So you also need to treat your remote work treat it in the same way you'll treat an in-office job. So show up on time, have a schedule, communicate effectively, and have a dedicated workspace where you'll be doing your work. So James is also asking, how can he make himself more competent for hire? This is a very nice question. So if you're new in an industry and you're looking to make yourself more competent for hire, you do this. One, you try and get relevant skills in that field. Get as much skills as you can in that field. So identify the skills that someone needs to thrive in that sector that you are moving into, and gain them. So James, you're moving into finance and consulting services industry. Find the skills that are needed in that sector and gain them. Also, you need to work on your application material for remote jobs. So you need to work on your resume and you need to work on your cover letter. And specifically in this case, since you don't have so much experience in this field you're moving into, you need to highlight the skills, the transferable skills that you are bringing over from the industry where you are at previously. So identify those skills that you feel you can transfer into this new industry, and you need to highlight them in your resume and application materials. Yeah, so also Susan sent some questions via email, and I'd like to quickly respond to them. Susan asked, how do I get jobs in my area of expertise? So Susan, I'd advise you to first check out LinkedIn and try and connect with other people in that field. When you connect with these people, you will be able to see once jobs are posted in that field. They'll be sharing these opportunities, and that's how you can get some of them. Also, is asking, can I have a remote job and a physical one at the same time? Yes, you can. Actually, this is how I started my remote career. When I started my remote career, I was still interning as an engineer, as a telecommunications engineer with Nokia. So I used to work my internship job up until 5, from 8 in the morning till 5. Then when I go home, I freshen up, I relax, and from 8 in the evening till midnight, I'd be doing my remote job. So yes, you can have both of them at the same time, but you need to be someone who can really manage your time well. And also you need to be really committed, because one, your physical job will wear you out, and this may mean you're not in the right headspace to do your remote work. So at that time I was young and I could really handle so many things at the same time. So yes, you can, but you need to know that there's a price you'll pay for this. You'll need to give yourself, you'll sacrifice a lot of time. You'll be working most of the time, but it also gives you an opportunity to grow professionally. So if this is something that you want, make sure you manage your time properly and you can do all of them at the same time. Susan also asked specific websites for remote jobs. One, We Work Remotely, remote.co, and Indeed. I'd say these are my top 3 sites you can get remote jobs. And do remote jobs offer benefits like you said NSSF? Yes, you can. They do. Remote jobs offer all the kind of benefits that in-person jobs offer. That is, if it's not a freelance opportunities. The other remote jobs that require you to work full time. And if that's the case, they will give you the benefits that an in-person worker gets. So I hope I've answered your question, Susan. There are other questions that have been sent in my email, but I feel like we are late. I'll answer those questions. I'll respond to them in the email, and I will get in touch with Garasha, and she will forward the answers that I share to the person who asked this question. I beg that you allow me to just give you some 5 minutes from this moment so that you can check the survey. So go to the chat. There is a message from Credo, and there's a link. There's a link to the survey. So click on that, check the link, and give your honest opinion about the session that you're having. So if you're still here, I'd kindly ask you that you please take the survey for the next 5 minutes. Yeah, so after you fill the survey, that will be it for this session. I'm honored you made time to be here today. It was a blessing to see all of you joining today, and I hope you've learned a lot about remote work from this session. And my sincere gratitude to our guest speaker who has already left, but I'll make sure to pass thank yous from this panel here. And yeah, someone is asking when will the winner be announced. The winner will not be announced today. The winner will be announced at the last session. So we will combine your performance in each quiz that we do, each of the quizzes, and the one who performs the best will be announced as the winner. So the winner will be announced at the end of during our 4th session. So be on the lookout for, we have another session coming up. Session 2 is coming up on the 29th of this month. We'll be sharing the promotional materials about that in the next few days. So please be on the lookout for that. And your performance in this quiz will be combined with your performance in the next coming quiz. And after that, we will announce the winner who will get the mentorship sessions with me. Timothy, this winner will be announced on the last event, on the last session during this phase. Gold is asking, what if those who just joined today? What of those who just, yeah, if you joined today, you can, and you've taken the quiz, will be considered. You will be considered for the remote opportunities. You'll be considered as a winner for the remote opportunities challenge. Yeah, so the upcoming dates are September 29th for session 2. Session 3 will be on October 20th, and our last session will be on November 9th, when we will announce the winner of this challenge.
Beyond the skies, you and I, we're breaking bounds on Baobab.